Good morning, everybody. Grace and peace to you from our Lord Jesus Christ and all the saints here in Central California. Coming to you from the data center this morning, as you can hear, no doubt. My project this week was to get this new switch stack ready. Using a couple of, what are these? 5520? I think it's a 5520. Might have the model number wrong. I can never keep them all straight. That's all in Chinese. I don't know. Anyway, getting these two switches ready. We've got a new clinic that's opening up on the other side of the campus. The VA, Veterans Administration, was in there before. They've moved out. We actually own the building. They were leasing it from us. And so now we're going to move one of our clinics in there. And so they told me about how many devices they have. So I sized the switches for the number of devices they're going to have. We can always add another switch if we need to, but you know, there should be plenty. Each one of those switches has 48 ports. So they got 96 ports. That should be enough for now. I gotta find some shorter stacking cables. I use some really long cables to stack these together because that's all I could find, because if you remember the last video, storeroom cleanup. So everything's in chaos over there. Can't find anything. So what I did is I just went ahead and configured these up using my standard template. Assigned it an IP address, and then I came over here to the core. We've got 4 core switches. This is one of them. Another one right there. But I decided to cable it up to this switch here. Because I know we have fiber running from this data center here over to the clinic, which is about a quarter of a mile that way. So just as a test, I went ahead and just selected my ports, got them configured. I still need to set up a new VLAN. So I got to remember to do that. Set up a new data VLAN for them. And we'll get the voice VLAN over there that they're going to use. That's already existing, but their data VLAN doesn't exist yet. So the way I normally do this is set up a, switched span. It's a multi-link trunk anyway. So here's one MLT right here. There's two sets of fibers going over to the switch. There's another switch down in the MDF that's going to have a corresponding set of ports. Haven't had my coffee yet. And we will set up an SMLT across the switch and the switch down in the MDF. So the upshot of all that is we'll have 2 fibers from this switch, and then which connect here. And we'll have 2 fibers from the switch downstairs. It'll connect on these other 2 ports that currently have little dust covers on them right now. So yeah, that's the job this week. There's actually more, but that's the job for today. So I got these all connected up, and let's see, what else did I do? Oh yeah, so I add them. Next thing I do is I add them to NetSite or Site Engine XIQ or XIQ Site Engine or whatever Extreme is calling it these days. It'll always be NetSite to me. We get that into NetSite, and I do 2 things. I upgrade the firmware using NetSite, so that's been done. So it's running the latest reference firmware that we're running in all the other switches here. And the other thing I do is I add it to the backup schedule. So every night at around midnight, this switch will get its configuration backed up. So yeah, that's all that's involved in adding new switches. So all we're waiting for now is for Veterans Administration, the VA, to finish vacating over there. They vacated all the areas, but they have not vacated their network room yet. We need the network room. So once we have access to the network room and the fibers, we'll get the fibers patched in over here to this room and downstairs. We'll hook this guy up, plug it in, and that'll be the bulk of my my involvement. Like I said, the last thing I need to do is create the data VLAN. I'm going to do that probably later today, just to have time. Oh, the other thing we have going on today is a power test, which should happen. What time is it? Should happen any minute. So let's see what time it is. Oh, we got about 10 minutes. So they do a power test the last Tuesday of every month. So they're gonna switch over to emergency power, let it run for 30 minutes, and then switch back to utility power. So yeah, that's about all we're doing this week. I'm trying to think what else is going on. I could log in and tell you. Let's see, because I'm keeping everything. Sorry, I'm trying to type my password here. Hopefully I can do it. Isn't this intriguing video here? Hang on, I got it in. Got in. So let's see. Let me pull up my status report and see what I'm doing there. Yeah. Oh yeah. So the other thing we did this week is we disabled a couple of old internet lines. Let's see if I can pull that up without giving away too much. Yeah, let me zoom in here. Let me zoom in more. Let me zoom in even more. I'm still seeing IP addresses up there is the problem. Let me just do this. Do that down there. There we go. Now you can't see what I don't want you to see. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. So what we've done is we had these 2 extra internet lines. I'm not too concerned about those IP addresses because they're disconnected. And we will be decommissioning them. But what we're basically doing is getting rid of these 2 ISPs. And the way I did that is they come into this particular switch down in the MDF. I've just disabled the ports that go to those. And we're doing what I lovingly like to call a scream test. And a scream test is basically, you don't really announce it, you just turn it off and then wait for the screams. So we're the only real applications I was worried about. So one circuit was used by some remote radiologists that dial in. They connect via VPN, and they look at the X-rays and make their notes and all that, and they all work remotely. And but the new boss, AC, has come in and set up a new circuit for them to use. It's higher speed, so hopefully that'll keep them happy. And I'm going to set this phone down so I'm not shaking so much while I'm talking. There we go. He set up that new circuit. They're using that. So that's what one of these circuits was. That was their circuit. It's an old one, slower. We're going to get rid of it. The other circuit was being used exclusively by televideo. So we would contact I don't know, Stanford or UC Davis and do consults with their doctors via televideo. And that was using this other internet connection. And the reason we had more than one was in the past, our main internet connection was slow. Went through the county and we had no control over it. So we had these other two. Now cost is more of a concern than speed, and the county's really bumped up their internet bandwidth, so that's shouldn't be an issue anymore. So those two circuits are surplus to our requirements, so we're gonna get rid of those, but we got to test them, so that's what we're doing this week. Let's see what else is going on. Let's go. Let me refer back to my notes here and see what else we got. Where are they? Where are they? Where'd they go? Too many windows. Working with engineering to diagnose a door controller problem. They keep thinking it's a network port issue, and it might have been. These door controllers are really old. I noticed it was. He says it can only connect to either 10 megabits or 100 megabits. And so that made me think, well, the switch will auto negotiate between 10, 100, or actually just, will that one do it down to 10? Yes, it's an older switch. So it'll go between 10, 100, and 1 gig. And sometimes these older devices with really, really old network stacks just don't deal well with that type of auto negotiation. So I went ahead and manually set the port speed to 100 meg, and we're testing that overnight. So I'll talk to him this morning and see how things go. He's going to be part of this power test, which should happen in about a minute here. So after he's done with the power test, we're going to link up and see how his door controller's doing. And yeah, other than I put in a couple of change requests for disabling these ports that I just talked about, and for creating the new VLAN for the surgery clinic, which I'm going to do in a little bit here, maybe this afternoon. Yeah, that's really all we got. There it went. I just saw the lights flicker, so they just switched power. And see, yeah, we lost some switches. Let's see. Same ones we lost last time, so it's where Intermapper really shines. You can see these two little red dots over here. I'm not going to zoom in too much. Those switches are in the same closet, and they're on the same, actually, no, they're connected to this switch. So this switch, this one that's orange right here, that guy's probably lost his power. So I have to talk to Jose and say, hey, we got no UPS power in one of these closets. So anyway, I'm going to get on that, taking notes to see what went down, and we'll catch you guys later. As always, if you like what you saw, click the subscribe button. Oh, by the way, this is Intermapper. I know I'm going to get asked. I've talked about it before, but this is a product called Intermapper. Just do a Google search, you'll find it. Intermapper. If you like what you saw, and you're still awake, and you're still watching, click the subscribe button. Click the notification bell. Always appreciate it. Leave a comment if you have any questions or suggestions. I'm always open to that kind of stuff. And remember, everybody, to God alone be the glory. God bless.